Hey, brief, before you get in and watch this video, I want to point out a couple of things, safety things. One, always wear gloves. You don't know what you're going to be exposed to on some projects. Chemicals can go through your skin. Some chemicals are pretty nasty. They'll cause you, problems later down the line. It can cause Parkinson's and things like that. So anyway, be safe. Wear gloves. Second, like I was telling you, there's two things here. One, as you're cutting the sheetrock, it's got silica dust in it, and it will also hurt your lungs in the long term. Second, this stuff, insulation, the same thing. As you touch it, it's got a lot of air space in it. And so even as you touch it and try to move it, it gives off little fibers that fill the air. So always, this is an N95 mask. You might remember it from the pandemic or whatever, but wear something that will protect your lungs before you start taking over and just demolishing stuff. That's really important. It's important that you do think about your future self, because you don't want to be walking around with an oxygen tank, and you don't want to, sometimes when you're young, you have a tendency to think, oh, that can't happen to me, but it happens to a lot of people. And it can happen to you. So be safe. Hey, good morning. Yeah, not gonna smile too much so far. So last night about 2:30, 2:20 in the morning, I got woken up by my wife and one of my kids showing me that we had water leaking in the house. So it was right down here, coming out from under the baseboard, and it was on the outside. I'll show you real quick. And you can still see a little bit of it down there, but it was coming out from under here. So I knew we had a leak here in this wall, and as I was looking, I saw that we had some stuff I hadn't noticed before, some black stuff. So I thought maybe the leak was here or maybe slightly higher. So anyway, then I went ahead and took out, up here at the top, took out the wall board, tried to cut it out cleanly, try to keep it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to patch it over here, because I've got a nice board here that I can nail into, but I don't know what the answer is going to be. I may replace the whole thing, not sure yet. But anyway, got in here this morning, and right up here, you can see where I've already clamped it and repaired it, spliced it. There was a little, when the people built the house, they drove a nail into that pipe. So, and it sat there. I mean, this house is now what, 15 years old or something like that. And so that nail sat there, presumably, that whole time. When I was feeling back there, I felt it, and it was rusted out. So it had finally rusted enough away that it allowed that little perforation of the water pipe to free leak. Or at least that's my working supposition. And I turned off the main last night, got a little bit of sleep, and went ahead and this morning watched a little bit of YouTube, and then went and got the necessary tools to go ahead and cut that, stick in a coupling, and splice it. And so far, like I said, I have checked it and checked it and checked it, and it's been good. I got the water running for 15 minutes to make sure and clear the pipes so that it'll, not have any contamination. There's a restroom right here above where that leak was, and unfortunately it was the only one that exhibited the sputter of not having all the water in the line. So sitting overnight, some of the water settled out or whatever. We ended up with some empty space in the pipes. So anyway, right thing to do, run it for 15 minutes and go ahead and clear it. And now we're just monitoring, keeping an eyeball to make sure it stays dry. See if we have any water come back to the places where we saw it. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll figure out how to close this up. But I want to tell you, so as you get bigger, you're going to run into stuff like this. Stuff where it's not always convenient. In fact, it almost rarely is convenient. Many times it happens while you're asleep or late at night or a holiday, or it's never a convenient time. But the important thing is to use that noggin that you got and to stay calm. Think about, what are your immediate steps? What's my immediate action? So in my case, turned off the water main because this was leaking, actively leaking. So when I turned off the water main, we made sure that there was no more leaking, and that meant that we were secure for the night, and we could go ahead and finish getting our sleep. Your grandmother found me a plumber. I went ahead and took a look, tried to give that guy a call, but it's Christmas Eve, and he was not gonna come out and work. He said they were off. And anybody else that I called that would come out and work would charge us an arm and a leg for emergency service. So what was I gonna do? The problem had to be fixed. I could either be paralyzed, or I could try to take some action and do something about it. And that's what I did. So I'm not familiar. I've done plenty of plumbing stuff over my life. Small repairs. I've even added some plumbing here and there. I'm not claiming to be a plumber by any stretch, but I felt comfortable in some spaces. I felt comfortable using PVC glue and things like that. But this stuff, this particular pipe, is called PEX B or something like that. And so it is, it's a little different. I remember some polybutylene. We owned a house once that had polybutylene run in it, and there was a big class action suit against them because they leaked all the time. So not sure why this is better, but it's clearly better. Maybe it's more stiff or whatever, less prone to leak. But anyway, so what I did is I got up bright and early, tried to call the plumber, nothing doing. We can't run without water for multiple days while we wait. So it's up to me. I got to see a problem, fix a problem. So I went ahead and watched a few YouTubes on some plumbers, or from some plumbers, about specifically fixing this type of pipe. And then I went to the store. I bought the appropriate coupling. I bought the rings to repair it and clamp it. And then I bought the tools that I needed for that. Thankfully, they were open. But once we got that done, coming home and reviewing that YouTube one more time, and then going ahead and making a fix. And so far, it's good. So stick in your head. Almost all things are possible with you in your brain. So it's just a matter of overcoming that fear and that feeling of unease. What if? And it's possible. I'm going to leave this open for a couple of days to both monitor, let it air out, but also to continue to monitor for leaks. And then I'll put the wallboard back in. But it's possible that you fix something and you have to go back and fix it again. And that's okay. It's possible that you address a problem, because it's not always just plumbing, right? This is just happens to be one that stuck me today. It stuck out. Um, it's not always, but you're faced with a problem, and you think about your logical process to address the problem. What's the immediate action? What's the short-term action? What's the longer-term action? And then how do you, if possible, make sure that you can keep it from recurring, or check it and determine as soon as you see it that it's recurring. Early detection. So keep that stuff in your head for every problem. You have a flat tire, cars break down, they just do. You have a engine problem while you're out, your credit card doesn't work, you name it, plumbing, your house leaks, whatever it is, you can overcome it. You just have to think about it in a systematic way, not just a systemic way, but systematic. What is your methodology? Anyway, you didn't come to hear me pontificate, but this is what I'm working on today, and thought it was a really good opportunity to share something with you. As always, I am super proud of you. You are an amazing person. So I love you. Bye.